Skip it up and that up. Oh man, here are my hands. I'm gonna review the Wii U today. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Rich of Review Tech USA, and I have gotten multiple emails every day since I got this thing when it launched in November. Every day, hey Rich, I know there's a lot of other reviews out there, but can you review the Wii U? I want to know your take on it. And today I'm gonna give it to you. Ooh, my take, yeah. Interesting system. Very controversial system. It's not selling too well right now, but I have a feeling that's going to change, but I'll get into more speculation later. Let's take a look at the console first. This is the Wii U. It looks like a Wii on steroids. I'm not a huge fan of the design of this system. It looks like Nintendo just like, let's get a brick and put components in it and paint it white and black and see what happens. It's not bad looking, as you can see. It's not a horrid looking system. I think that goes to the purple GameCube in my personal opinion. Some people love the way the GameCube looks. I don't. But this one just, it doesn't, especially with how good looking the original Wii was. I wasn't a fan of the original Wii, but I got to admit the system I thought looked great, especially in the stand too. It was a very clean, sexy looking system. This just kind of is there. It just doesn't feel as inspired as Nintendo's other creations, at least when it comes to aesthetics. So I get to take a couple points off for that one, but whatever. Looks are only part of it. How does the system function, or what are its features? Let's take a look in front here. You have your sync button to sync to your tablet controller, which I'll get to in a second, and your Pro controller, whatever other accessories you have. This also works with the original Wii's Wiimotes and accessories as well. This actually came with a sensor bar because this was the deluxe edition. So it works with a whole bunch of different stuff. You have your power button here, your eject. This uses, I believe, a derivative. It's a custom disc by Nintendo, but it's like a derivative of a Blu-ray-esque kind of. It's 25 gigabytes per disc, and that is the story on that. So plenty of space to store stuff on. A lot of people are complaining, if you look in front here, this does not have USB 3.0. There's an SD card slot, so if you have you could store games on it too, but if you have a camera and you took a picture of your ass and want to show it to your mother, you can just slide your SD card in from your camera. But I hope to God you don't want to show a picture of your ass to your mother. Anyway, a lot of people were complaining about the fact this only has USB 2.0. And to those people I say, you don't mind the disk drive, right? Yeah, you don't mind the disk drive. Disk drives have slower transfer rates than USB 2.0. So you'll actually, if you download a game off of eShop, like say a full retail game, it's going to run faster off your hard drive, and you can get a huge hard drive and store a ton of games on there, an external hard drive, than it would run off the disk drive. So what are you complaining about? Yes, it would be nicer if it had USB 3.0, but I don't really care that much about it. It would have been nice, but I don't really take any points off the system for that. Let's take a look around the side. You have some vents here, nothing special. Around the back, you have your power regular multi-AV out. Same one, I believe, from the Wii. Yes, it is the same one because I've used component cables from the Wii on this. You could output HD with component. You have your sensor bar connector here, which, like I said, the deluxe edition does come with a sensor bar, your HDMI, a fan, and two more USB 2.0 ports. Excuse me. And that is the Wii U system. It's a console. Itself is not too exciting, aesthetically anyway. What's going on with the guts of this system? As what I know right now, and have speculated in many other videos, it has a tri-core IBM developed 1.24 gigahertz CPU. Sounds kind of slow, but Nintendo says the way they have the architecture set up is that a lot of games are going to run and the GPU is going to do most of the work. And that is an AMD-based GPU, which runs around 550 megahertz. There's speculation that it's DirectX 10, DirectX 11. I see stories going back and forth all the time. There's good news and bad news to it. One of the interesting things I haven't made a news story on yet is that EA is coming out with a port of Need for Speed, the newest Need for Speed, for the Wii U, and it's actually going to use the PC texture pack, not the console texture pack. So the definitive console version of the newest Need for Speed is actually going to be for the Wii U. And Criterion, they're an awesome bunch of developers, so if anyone could eke power out of a system, it's them. So that's enough about the console itself. The star of the show when it comes to the Wii U is my camera dying, because it is a turd that runs on AA batteries and eats them in about 45 minutes. Lovely. But anyway, the star of the show when it comes to the Wii U is the Wii U gamepad. See if I can fit it in screen here. You're probably noticing something about the Wii U gamepad, and if you're a subscriber to my channel, you probably already know what I'm about to tell you, and what you can see on screen. It has an LCD touchscreen. It is a 6.2 inch, 854 by 480 resolution touchscreen, and it looks fine. The nice thing about the Wii U, and it's a huge feature, at least to me, is that you could play games like Black Ops 2 and Super Mario Bros. U right on the screen itself. So if someone else is watching TV, you could play games on here. Now, the resolution is not, super uber high. It's not even 720p. It's not 1080p. But for a small 6.2 inch screen, it's adequate. Colors pop, objects look sharp. Yeah, you're going to see a little bit of pixelization, but for what they're trying to do with this, I think it's fine. An interesting choice Nintendo went with when it comes to the Wii U gamepad, the LCD screen, is that it's not capacitive. This is a resistive touchscreen, which is older technology they used to use in cell phones, like feature phones. It's not as accurate as capacitive touchscreens, and honestly, usually I hate resistive touchscreens, but this one, look at my hands, look at my fingers. They're fat sausage fingers, and I have no problem typing on this. I have no problem selecting menus. If there's like a keyboard that pops up on the screen, I could use the internet on this, which actually using the web browser on the Wii U is awesome to use on this screen, and I have no problems with it. It's still not as accurate as a capacitive touchscreen, and unfortunately this does not have multi-touch, so you can't pinch to zoom. You got to just double tap on the screen like old school cell phones, but it works fine. It works surprisingly well for a resistive touchscreen, and this is coming from a guy who despises resistive touchscreens usually. So kudos to Nintendo. I don't know what they did with their resistive touchscreen technology, but it works really well. So I don't have to say resistive touchscreen anymore. Let's move on to the rest of the gamepad. The thing about this, it's almost my favorite gamepad of all time. You pick this thing up, it's really light. It weighs pretty much, if you put a 360 controller in your hands, it weighs about that much. I don't know the exact weight, but if you put this in your hand and put a 360 controller, they pretty much feel the same. It's very lightweight. All the buttons are placed properly. The analog sticks feel really good. The D-pad, it's a Nintendo D-pad. Need I say more? It's excellent. These buttons are very clicky and responsive, and it feels really like, honestly, when you first play with this controller, you're going to use it and it's going to feel awkward at first, but once you get used to it, you're going to be amazed how comfortable it is. Let's take a tour around the controller too to show you some of the features. There's your home button. This can actually be used as a TV remote too. If you click this button, I actually used it on my Vizio TV. You can change channels and change inputs right from here. It's pretty cool. There is a front-facing camera, so you could almost do like a Nintendo version of FaceTime and talk to friends over the Wii U. 2 stereo speakers. They get fairly loud on the bottom, so if you're playing games on the controller, you could hear the sound just fine. I'm going to actually show you a demo of a couple games on here once I get the Wii U set back up and show you how it looks with my terrible camcorder. I don't know what you're going to see, but speakers there. This has a dock it sits in so you can charge the controller, which you're going to need to do a lot because the battery life on here is terrible. I almost forgot to mention that. With the battery, I'll show you in the back here. There's your sync button right here. This only lasts about 4 to 5 hours. I've tested it out myself. It's true. There's third-party batteries that may be out or coming out for this that you could put bigger capacity batteries in here, which will up the life of the battery. I heard about 8 or 9 hours. But right now, make sure that charger's handy, or they give you a long cord because this actually has a separate power supply too, which kind of sucks. Make sure you have your power supply handy or be ready to charge this a lot, because you are honestly, I get about barely 4 hours out of this. So I don't know why Nintendo didn't include a bigger battery. I know they're looking to cut costs, but yeah, the battery life on this sucks. And it's a shame too because it's a very comfortable controller. It almost makes the, minus unless you want to play with friends, it almost makes like the Wii U Pro controller useless. And Wii U Pro controller, even though it's not a bad controller, I reviewed it, it's a pretty good controller. What pisses me off about it is you don't have a plug for a headset right on there. So you either have to plug in a headset here or get a Bluetooth headset. So say you want to use the Wii U Pro controller, a little side note about the Wii U. Say you want to play Black Ops 2 and talk to your friends. Unless you want to buy a more expensive one that hooks up via Bluetooth, you're going to have to plug a headset into here, have this like a ball and chain next to you, and then have your Wii U gamepad right next to you when you're playing. So kind of some points off for that. Let's look around the rest of the controller here. Man, I went off on a tangent. Another thing, there's the other charging port or the AC adapter port up here if you don't want to put it on the dock. Headphone, which it's headphones. You listen to sound through them. There's your infrared port. Another thing I don't like, and it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker with this gamepad, but it is a mild nuisance, but I'm used to it now, is that when you look at the buttons on top here, you see where the ZL and ZR buttons are. When you're playing games like Call of Duty, you switch up to here to throw a grenade or throw a smoke bomb or whatever. There's a lot of, look how much my thumbs, I don't know if I could do it here, my fingers have to travel. See what I'm saying? Can't really do it with tilting like this, but this is very deep. These buttons are kind of far away. It doesn't look like they are. But when you're playing, it causes a little bit of fatigue after a while because you have to move your fingers so much to get to these L and R bumpers up here. So that's kind of a turnoff to it, but it's not terrible, but it's something that was worth mentioning. The other thing too is this can go a pretty good distance. I can't give a measurement, but one thing I've noticed is that say you want to play in a different room or you want to play far away from the console, you won't have a problem if there's no walls or obstructions in the way. But even if you're not, like, say I wanted to go into, I'm going to tilt the camera, uber unprofessional moment here. Say I wanted to go into the bedroom of my apartment and the Wii U's out there. It doesn't always work. If I have the door open to my bedroom, I could play. But even then, it gets kind of glitchy. But if you have any obstructions in the way, you're not going to be able to use this in a different room to play Super Mario Brothers U because someone's watching the TV. You can go a good distance if there's no obstructions, like I said. But if there is, you're not going to go as far as I would hope. So it's kind of a little bit of a disappointment with it. But I love this controller generally. Flaws aside, battery life is the biggest thing, and like I said too, the way they have the L and R buttons placed next to the ZL and ZR buttons is kind of a little bit of a nuisance, but you get used to it, and I honestly have no problem playing like Black Ops 2 with it. So alright, I'm going to hook up the Wii U and show you how games look on this controller. Hopefully my crappy camera can do this screen justice. Let's take a look. Now this is Super Mario Brothers U, and I'm playing it on the Wii U gamepad. Now you're probably noticing something. Speakers are loud as hell, man, and they sound so clear and so good. Let me turn on the volume. I'm going to show you some gameplay real quick. And I may show you some Call of Duty Black Ops 2, but I think you'll get the hint as to how... Ooh! I bumped into something here. So, runs great, man. Doing this through a viewfinder is not working out too well. As you see, there's no lag, no stutter. It's actually running at 60 frames per second on this screen. Whatever technology, I know they're using some kind of weird wireless end technology based on Wi-Fi to transmit the audio and video from the Wii U, but it's amazing, man. It works great.
Stay focused. Stay alive.
This is Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the Wii U. I'm playing on the gamepad screen, and it looks fantastic. Runs at 60 frames per second, no input lag. I'm going to suck terribly at this, but hey, that's just me sucking. And I suck even worse when I look through the viewfinder. But awesome, runs great. Again, I love this feature that you can play games on the gamepad, because when you have other people over, family, friends, kids, your wife wants to watch Dancing with the Stars and you rather shoot someone in the face, now you can do it. So final verdict time, ladies and gentlemen. Do I like the Wii U? Do I enjoy the console? Yeah, I do. I see the potential with it. I am madly in love with this controller. Short battery life aside, I think it's very comfortable and the screen on it is fantastic. And I see the potential with the Wii U. I know it's struggling sales-wise right now, but when Nintendo releases their next HD Zelda or their next HD Mario Galaxy, I know the sales of the system are going to pick up. I just hope that third-party titles are going to come to the Wii U multiplats. I think that can hurt Nintendo in the long run if the Wii U actually is not powerful enough, which its hardware capabilities are still in question even after the system has been released for a few months. It's going to hurt Nintendo if it isn't going to get third-party support. It's going to be like the Wii all over again, and I don't want to see that happen because I do have more faith in the Wii U than I did in the original Wii. I would say my other big gripe with the console is its load times. Even if you're going to settings to change your display resolution, or if you're going to surf the web, everything seems to take forever. It's not a deal breaker once again, but loading times in the Wii U are almost borderline atrocious. They almost are unbearable. They are bearable, but they're at that like breaking point where they're almost too long. And I'm not going to say it's a no-go with the Wii U because of that, because that's something that they're going to fix with software. Nintendo actually made a statement they are working on streamlining the operating system of the Wii U, but it's something they should have had fixed from the get-go, in my personal opinion. So should you pick up a Wii U now is the question. And if you're not doing a review show like me, or if you're not a diehard Nintendo fan, a year from now, I'm going to say yes. Now, I'm going to tell you to wait for better software to come out. There may even be a price drop. I know that Nintendo said they're not doing one now. I didn't expect them to, but there may be a price drop in the future. They may streamline the system, come out with like a Wii U 2.0. I don't think they'll do that in a year, but maybe a year and a half they might do it. Right now, yes, there is a bunch of good games for the system, but they're multiplats. You could get them on your current generation consoles. You could get them on the PS3 and 360, minus Zombie U. I actually haven't touched it yet. I've had it for a few weeks. I can't tell you if it's good or bad yet. I know the reviews on it are mixed. And Super Mario Bros. U, all the other games pretty much, you could get on other platforms. So I would say hold off. I have a feeling the system's going to it has a lot more potential than it's showing right now. A lot of the games I know are pretty sloppy ports. I haven't. People say that Black Ops 2 is a sloppy port. I personally haven't seen that with the system. I play with the game, I should say. I've played it. I think it runs very smooth and very well. I have only played multiplayer mostly. Maybe it's a single-player campaign that gets choppy, but hold off. Save your money for a little bit. Wait for more must-have titles like Bayonetta 2 to come out. But I think this system is going to do a lot better in the future. I think the Wii U in the long run will do well, and I'm personally enjoying the new console from Nintendo. Alright guys, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this review, and as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Have a good one.